So, there we go. We have one last topic, Colin Kaepernick. So, how about you go ahead and start off this
All right.
topic on
Colin Kaepernick was a football player, but I think it was I'm thinking like 2015, 2014, around that time, he took a knee for oppression, basically for Black Lives Matter, because we're tired of black people getting killed all the time. We were tired of police brutality. He took a knee, and then recently, more people have taken a knee in the NFL, and Donald Trump decided to tweet about how we should throw that son of a bitch off the field because they take knees.
Well, so my take on this now is, when it comes, this is a conversation about, we could have this another time possibly, but this isn't necessarily a conversation about what Colin Kaepernick is, the whole part of Black Lives Matter, the police brutality, and then institutional racism and whatnot. That's a very complicated issue, and I think that there are areas that there's truthful concern I think they have a point on. Some areas I don't. That's a whole other thing. But that could be another topic. But basically, the specific way of how he's going about protesting what he believes is injustice, I don't believe is productive to accomplish the means of change for him. So let's say I did 100% agree with everything Colin Kaepernick said. I still don't think this is the way you go about it, because when you want to make any sort of changes in society, be it politically, culturally, or whatnot, you have to convince the people that are, there's always going to be these far right people and far left people or whatnot, and there's going to be people that are always going to be against you no matter what you say, and there's going to be people always on your side no matter what. But you have to convince the middle ground to come over and support you. And I think for a lot of middle ground, middle of the road Americans that are like, maybe there is a problem with policing methods or whatnot, or maybe there's some institutional racism issues. Immediately when they see like their image and they see Colin Kaepernick and they think he's disrespecting the flag or the anthem, and even if that's not what it is, but they see kneeling to that, disrespecting the flag, the national anthem, and American values or whatnot, you're going to immediately turn them off from ever possibly supporting you. They're going to be like, no, I don't want to hear it. They just don't like America. They just hate America, blah, blah. Whether that's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's what they believe in, perception's reality. So it's just kind of causing division without furthering any sort of solution is how I see it. So that's why I don't believe it's going to do much to change it. Because look, he did back in 2015. I don't think it's done much. It's been stoking more division without any sort of change.
I think it's done much because it's not a political movement. It's a movement to say he started taking a knee because he wanted to say that Black Lives Matter, and they do indeed matter. You agree, right, Bric?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes, we agree. Black Lives Matter. So it didn't turn into a political movement until more football players did it, because coaches don't like politics within their football. And the thing with that is that when you start saying Black Lives Matter, it creates this division, and it's not a political movement. It was never a political movement until like these fat white politicians were like, oh, it's ruining our football game, and it's not. It's a statement to say that we're tired of being oppressed. Flint needs water. We're saying that we're tired of children being bombed in other countries. It has nothing to do with politics, but you want it to turn into an all lives matter type thing, so it does have to do with politics now. Black Lives Matter isn't political. Race shouldn't be a political issue. Nothing of that sort should be a political issue, but the fact that people are bringing awareness to this, and we're not trying to say like, oh, it has everything to do with politics. It has nothing to do with politics. It has everything to do with, we want you to acknowledge our oppression.
I'd still, even if that's 100% true, I disagree with anything of that. I'm just saying that it's not going to, because what it's done is it's been counterproductive, because people saw this back in 2015, and this wasn't the only thing, but a lot of Americans saw it. They're fed up with it. They didn't like that way of protesting. Like I said, right or wrong, they don't like it. And what it's done is it's been one of the aspects that have fed into probably Donald Trump's election is probably this, because they see it as disrespecting American symbols and institutions that, while American values, while we haven't always lived up to American values of equality for everyone, freedom for everyone, it's values we can all look up to and hope to one day get to. And I think when a lot of people see American flag or hear the national anthem, they think of those values, and whether we've lived up to them or not, it's that we're striving to get towards them. So it just doesn't, it just turns a lot of people off, and you're not going, if like you really want change, you have to get those people on your side. If you have a bunch of pissed off, mainly a lot of them are white people. If you have a bunch of mainly pissed off white people, they're not going to change their opinion, when otherwise I think they may change their opinion and be able to help further change, because it's just going to shut them off completely from even the conversation about it.
I think from a white privilege perspective, it's easy to say that it's counterproductive. But if you look at it, during the civil rights movement, they said everything that black people were doing was counterproductive. Sit-ins, peaceful marches, things like that. It may seem like it's counterproductive. Of course, it's going to piss off racist and angry white people who just want to get back into the game. But at least it's making a statement, and it's saying something, and it says a lot about the white people who are against what they're doing. Because even veterans are like, they're going to take a knee, not because it has to do with politics and football,
but this issue, it's not one side or the other. But
excuse you. Not that it has to do with a political perspective. They're saying that they are tired of people of oppressed backgrounds, black people, people of color, being disrespected. Although it may seem like, oh, we're disrespecting the national anthem, but think about this. Y'all have enslaved people for years. Y'all have oppressed people for years. Y'all have disrespected people of color for years. You've murdered people of color for years, and you want us to sit here and stand for a flag for a country that doesn't care about us. And no, never mind.
No,
I forgot what to say.
This is gonna be another fundamental disagreement about it. To wrap this up, probably, because we're probably about out of time. That's our country's past. Our country has done horrible things in the past, and from our side of the white people, or whatever side of the perspective, I don't want to speak for all white people or whatnot, but we know our country's done horrible things in the past, and we've tried to move on from them forever, continuously reminding white America of the bad things it's done. We know the bad things white America's done. We want to change. Continually blaming us is not, I don't believe, going to make anyone want to help further things.
Bric, I don't think you understand. We're not blaming you.
But you constantly remind us of this, and yes, we already know. We already know.
Well, if you knew, why don't you change something?
We want to change, and like I said, there are people even like me that when we look at certain issues, we see that in certain cases with police brutality and policing methods, we see that there are things need to change, some things, but immediately we all of a sudden we're just like, okay, we're done. When all of a sudden it's just a reminder of, okay, you know, our history, yeah, we suck, you know, we did good things too, and whatnot. We just don't want to work with people like that, because we're just like, okay, we just feel animosity, and both sides feel animosity.